Beep, beep, beep. Bonjour. Comment ça va? We are in France, which is rare because I don't speak French, therefore I don't get much. However, I do have a wonderful warrior teacher who's in France who has done a translation for me of this bit of news, which is breaking and is important to us all. So we can now get some of the French perspective as well, which we've not done previously, me feels. Right? Okay, so there's a French newspaper called The Point. All right, what's The Point? The Point is a French newspaper or a French magazine article type thing. They've obtained a report submitted to the Senate by opposing gender transition before reaching legal age. Now, you are more than aware that my thoughts are just forget it altogether, but that's what they're talking about here. The report on minors' gender reassignment submitted to the Senate on March the 21st, exclusively revealed by Le Point, falls into the latter category of something that's designed, they describe this as something that is designed not to cause consensus, but to stir things up. So it's saying that this is designed to stir things up. I do hope so. I wish I knew what French was for do hope so. Je something, right? I don't, okay? My French is rusty at best and menu driven, right? So, initiated in June 2023 by LR, brackets, Les Républicains, senators, the working group was led by Jacqueline Eustache-Brenio, what a lovely name, senator of Valdoise, after hearing from 67 individuals, proposes a complete reversal. Here we go, a complete reversal of the current trend by making sex changes not easier, but impossible. Ah, yes, before reaching legal age. Well done, Jacqueline de Belfort. Oh no, that's Death on the Nile. Jacqueline Eustache-Brenio. Fantastic, right? Highly divisive. This topic remains surprisingly underdocumented. This is the situation in France. There are no reliable national data on transition requests from minors. However, consistent signs indicate that these requests have surged in recent years, both in France and in many developed countries. This is interesting, isn't it? They get into a certain point. The transsexualism, the hospital stays for transsexualism have tripled between 2011 and 2020, rising from 536 to 1,615. 4 surgeons performed vaginoplasties on adult patients, arrested a lot of them in 2022. Today there are 30 surgeons inundated with requests, as mentioned by the senators. Jail every single one of them for carrying out an operation that has a 100% failure rate. The report explores the question of causes without aiming to provide a definitive answer. Is the surge of an adolescents wishing to change gender due to a fashion trend, or because society now accepts a reality that was long concealed, similar to how homosexuality was once stigmatized for a long time? Can see there, explaining the difference between what we know it is, a social contagion, a load of nonsense, and force-teaming it with homosexuality, which is a real thing. Senator Jacqueline Eustache-Brenio is clear in her belief that fashion plays a significant role and must be combated. We like you, Jacqueline. We do, okay? The divergent views with associations that support gender transition, as heard by the senators Trans Santé Français Out Trans, Trajectories Jeunes Trans, seems insurmountable from their perspective. Voices are being heard and a veil of silence is being lifted. Each party mentions the best interests of children and adolescents, but where does that best interest lie? As explained during his hearing in July 2023, Lorraine Lantieri, head of the plastic surgery department at Georges Pompidou Hospital in Paris, there's a word I'd like to use more, Pompidou, right, in Paris, stated that there is no evidence of the effectiveness of a sex change on patients' quality of life, and there won't be any for a long time because there is obviously no randomized trials. There's absolutely no evidence that any of this is anything but butchery, medical malpractice, and eugenics, and homophobia in a new coat. That's it. And misogyny. Are the French getting it? I mean, 15 proposals are put forward. Ethically, It is inconceivable to form a group of operated individuals and not operated control booth. Both followed for years to measure the effectiveness of the transition in terms of well-being, unless, of course, one considers the current wave of adolescent reassignment as a form of large-scale trial at the risk and peril of the participants. In other words, they're saying there, aren't they, in very clear language, this is a medical experiment on children and it needs to stop. What have I said it before? I'll keep saying it. We are going to close the gate to everyone. And then this will just end. And we keep a record of what it did and what damage it did to our society as a warning to everybody to beware of the left and the liberal loonies and the right, who will capitalise on it and make bodies commodities. That's what this is. Jacqueline Eustache-Bradeo says, the sexual transition of young people will be considered one of the greatest ethical scandals in the history of medicine. Jacqueline, I couldn't agree more. I wonder if we'd agree on anything else. She might be a far-right nut, for all I know. If advocates for early transitions and the practitioners who supported them have underestimated the fashion effect and associated risks, what Jacqueline has said does stand the greatest ethical scandal in the history of medicine. In the conclusion of the report, Jacqueline says, no one is considering prohibiting gender change in adulthood. I am. I'm down for prohibiting it. I'm down for prohibiting it as long as I don't have to pay for it, right? So get it off the NHS. You want it done, then you have to pay not only for the operation to have it done, you also have to pay for the insurance to cover you for the rest of your life. Up front. Nothing on the NHS for this at all. Not one thing. This isn't piercing your nipple, right? Or having a Prince Albert. This is utterly mutilating your body to a grotesque degree. I'll repeat. No one is considering prohibiting gender change in adulthood. She points out to the point, but according to the LR group, it is time to seriously restrict the transitioning process for those under 18. The reporters present 15 proposals. Some are symbolic, such as reverting to administrative forms with only 2 gender options. That's not symbolic. That is not symbolic, and what the point mean here is sex. There should only ever be 2 sex options on a form. Gender shouldn't be there at all. More significantly, the LR group aims to prohibit minors from undergoing so-called sex reassignment surgery and hormonal treatments, especially puberty blockers. Is it me, or is, I reckon they're looking to us? Because we do, as we have often done, lead the world on this. On getting gender identity ideology, queer theory and all its bloody vapid nonsense out of wherever it is and replacing it with reality and removing the concept of this cult from our entire society. That's the job ahead of us, and it's going to be a long one. So come and be a warrior teacher and help us fight it. Or buy me a coffee. I'll see you later. Good luck.